Hey guys, today we have a car with problem with customer complaint. Doesn't accelerate over 2000 RPM, and there's a noise rattling, and I can see, okay, check engine light is on, and as you can see there, I don't know if you can see that. Let me focus. Our needle is moving a little bit. All right, so when I scan the code, I get a P0017 cam crank correlation exhaust active and P0014 timing over advance. So the previous work on this one is they replace timing chain cover with the oil pump because there's no oil pressure flow on that one. So now let's just see our data right now and see here for our exhaust. So we have our set point, which is this desired, what the computer wants, and we have our current, minus 18 degrees and minus 14. So if I'm gonna rev it, that should move, right? And as we can see here on our exhaust control valve, doesn't activate at all, right, when it moves. So I'm guessing it's either, why isn't it reading? It's either a cam exhaust signal doesn't have any signal there, or it's the CVVT that's spinning there. So let's try and check first, and let's check our oil control valve if that's working. Let's command it, let's do an active test, and after that, since we see on our data that it's not really moving even though I'm gonna rev it, we're gonna scope the signal on the crank and the exhaust cam and see if it lines up, and see if we have some signals in there. Okay, so now I'm gonna activate the oil control valve. So as you can see that, and here there's a clicking there, and on our data here it is commanding. So we know for sure that there's no problem on oil control valve. Maybe something it gets stuck in there. Next is, let's just quickly check. Let me stop this. Let's check our oil, if there's an oil there. So looks like it's overflowed. So that's too much, but I don't think that can cause, maybe I'm wrong, but so let's go ahead and do our cam and crank signals, and let's see if we have misalignment or there's something wrong with our signals. So now I hook up on the crank signal on my channel A, and channel B there's some interesting in the wiring diagram. So it says there yellow, that's my signal there. On the wiring diagram, you see that yellow, number 3, it says ground. So because I tried to hook up on number 2, it didn't give me any signals. So what you can do too is ignition on. Alright, so there should be one supply. So I'm gonna hook that up. As you can see here, the purple one, that's my supply, and clearly the other one is our signal here, since this is a pull down design. So let's go ahead and capture the waveform. Let's just make sure that we're connected. Okay, we're connected now. Let me start the part. So here's our waveform. These are cam signal to exhaust, and it's our crank. So let me just stop that. Okay, again. Now we just have to compare our signals or our timing to the service info. So let me zoom in on this one. So we have short, long, long, big, short, long, long. So as you can see, use the whole 2 crankshaft revolution from one here, one. So you just have to compare this. We're gonna go to our service info. Let me show it to you. Go to our 2020 2-liter engine D0017 component inspection. Do you have a correlation here? No? Okay, so we have here a correlation, but it didn't give me anything. Oh well, it says here. So there are 15 signals of CKP between switching points of camshaft missing tooth at idle. The number of signals of the switching point exhaust and the missing tooth is changed while CVBT is working. So you mark here, as you can see here, it looks like our waveform there. You have big, very small, small, very small, and a little bit bigger and a bigger, right? So let me find on, because I captured some good ones too on the corner, good correlation. Maybe I can find it. So as you can see here, this is the bad one that we're capturing right now. So on the end here, these are smaller. More or less, it almost line up here, right? So this is my good known waveform on cam and crank for the exhaust. As you can see here, it's like the other one. We have because this is zoom in a little bit, so we have a small, very small, a little bigger, and a bigger signal here. And as you can see on our small signal here, it's a little bit away from the crank, right? Unlike on our bad waveform, it was on this very first signal. So now we confirm that it's out of timing, and maybe I can try another test that we know that it's out of timing. One spark plug, it doesn't matter which one is accessible. I put my pressure transducer, and that's gonna be our purple signal there. So let me start the car. Change my times settings. Okay. So in here, oh, sorry. Okay, you can see clearly there's something going on in here. So if we shut off the car, stop this. So now we just have to analyze this. So as you can see, this there is something going on in here. Let me minimize that with our rulers. Oh, this is time. Close that. Zero. Okay, and then let's change this to 720. And then put our rulers 4. Now you can see. So as you can see here, to the left is advanced, to the right, what do you call that? Retard. So as you can see, these are peak towers, and during expansion, which is the power, and these are exhaust side. As you can see, there's a pressure build-up, right? So I'm thinking that's not opening, because it should open here when intake. So there's something going on in this timing system. Now we just have to verify if it's our CVVT is the problem, or it's the chain that jumped. So let me try to remove everything and let's see. See, I removed the valve cover. It's easy. It's just all 10 mm bolts, and I just removed the right front wheel because there's no access. There's no hole for the crankshaft, and I just turn it until, if you can see in there, let me zoom in if I can. See that white mark there? More or less it's in the 0, so we know that it's in top dead center. That's our mark there, the yellow one for the exhaust CVVT, and for the intake is this one here. Where's this one here? This one. So more or less, as you can see that there's not really an access, but maybe our timing is good here, right? But what I notice is it could be a stretch chain. If I'm gonna try to do this, push it. As you can see, our CVVT is moving. Right? So, let me try moving this. So I'm suspecting it's either our dowel pin in here that locks the CVVT is broken, or this CVVT itself, it's broken, or we have a as you can see that it's moving, right? I don't know if you can see that. It's either we have a stretch timing chain. So to fix this is we're gonna do a timing chain tensioner, and since it's warranty, I'm just gonna order the CVVT, and we'll see if our camshaft on the dowel pin there is damaged or not. And that's it, guys. Maybe I'm gonna do a follow-up video when I try to replace the chain, and we're gonna confirm our fix and see if our waveform improves. And that's it, guys. It's just for diagnosis, different steps, checking if we have our faulty or timing system off. So thank you for watching.